And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say.
Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to Koi Place Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if interested, individual reads are back up and open. You can message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set it up, okay? So, Scorpio, what are we doing this round of reads? This is going to be your career read for the month of June. Career, I define here as labor, potential new opportunities, partnerships, contracts, deals. Essentially, what we put our efforts into and what we get out of it, either monetary or otherwise, right? So as a preamble to the read, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, even when it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to do and none of the time to lie to any of them, right? Instead, we lay our cards out on the table and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one. So follow along with me in your read today, Scorpio, your career read, and let's see what the cards say. We're going to do a past, present, future orientation, left, right. That way it's easier for me to see the trajectory, starting with your past. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for the Scorpio Collective. Well, that's good. Okay. The Moon. What about the unknown that we're trying to examine? Okay, that's interesting. It's the first card to come out. What else? Do we have any other cards flying out for Scorpio? Okay. What cards do you need us to see for Scorpio career read today? Two of Swords. Okay, more confusion. And the Ace of Swords. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. 1, 2, and the Moon. Let's stop right there. I know a truth and I have half of it. This is an interesting position to take up, Scorpio, especially in a career. I think you were contemplating a move or at least, some type of major elevation in your field. And there's the haves and have-nots, right? The Ace of Swords and the Two of Swords. The Ace of Swords being, here's my truth. Here's what I know. Here's what I know I can execute. These are affirmative thoughts for me, right? These are affirmative actions. These are things that I know for a fact. I had them down packed. The Two of Swords, these are the things I don't know, right? These are the things that are, kind of confusing to me. I'm trying to wade through and see what's real or not. And then you have the Moon. And that's why I was very confused about why is that your opening, especially from a past tense. There's a situation you're trying to examine where, in truth, you didn't have all the answers, but you knew where you stood, right? And so trying to invest into what we don't know, particularly, and it seems like, again, this was a elevation of a career move. It still suggests that at the end of the day, we're kind of leaping off of faith here because there are just some things that were not answered by the time that we needed them to be. Again, the haves and have-nots. What then are we left to do when we have limited information? Okay. Down the middle, in the present tense, show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Scorpio in this read. Hope you get some deeper clarity because, yeah, that could oftentimes be either a very limiting aspect or just something that we can't move beyond examination. What cards do we need to see, please, for Scorpio and their career review? Hermit. Card of Virgo. Why? The Magician. And Eight of Wands. Okay, so we got our answers. That's good. Well, we went from not knowing it all to now knowing everything that we need to know. Good. I'm glad that in the present, where you are here and now, whatever you were trying to do, you got more clarity upon, but also got the answers to all your questions. And it seems like it was almost overwhelming, like a slap of information that came your way. Here, now that you have full information, we acted upon it. It seems like we took the best route for us. I'm looking at the Eight of Wands with more of a positivistic spin. Yeah, we were told everything that we didn't know about an offer and now able to make the best discernible judgment from it. That Magician to that Hermit suggesting what we choose to do is coming from the right space, right? Here, before we had all this energy of the unknown, the Two of Swords and the Moon, well, we just had, this is what I do know, here's what we're operating with. In the present tense, I know everything that I needed from this endeavor, even the things that I didn't know, right? And so if I operate from that space, what then can therefore come out of it? And that's a more measured effort rather than just putting your stamp on everything with that Ace of Swords in the past and saying, no, this has to be it. In the present, you got all your answers. And I hope that it was able to clarify whatever you needed to get that. It seems like, again, to make that leap that you needed in this business offering or this deal. Okay. Future orientation. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. Scorpio's reading. Future orientation in the career read. What we need to see in the future orientation of the career read. For Scorpio. Well, sometimes it's just how it happens. Five of Cups. Sorrow and regret, but why? The Emperor of the choice that was made. And the Hangman. Okay. Underneath it all, Three of Pentacles. Was it all worth it in the end? And that Three of Pentacles here representing a more collaborative effort. Probably what you were asking, what's the point of this teamwork when I could do it by myself? But even more so, what's the point of teamwork when I have a large, there's a large chance here that I might be left out or left behind. And yeah, I see why the Five of Cups is not coming out in the future tense. Future tense, at least from what I'm seeing, Scorpio, is that we're regretting a decision, right? We knew that it was the right one that we were operating from, but even more so, that Hangman doesn't allow us, like we're trying to trap how we feel about the decision in suspension because this was the informed choice. The informed choice is not necessarily the one that you want here. Because with information, I'm heavily looking into that Three of Pentacles over there. With information now comes, the reality of impact. Whereas from before, there are things that you didn't know and things you may not have wanted to know. Now in the present, if you make this choice, this is how it's going to play out. In the future, you got to hold it. Whatever choice that was made and the impact it was going to have in a team dynamic around you, you were informed of everything. And I don't know what this means for you, particularly in regards to, will this negatively impact my direct relational dynamics with the people around me? More than likely, yes. But beyond that, there is this element of, I wish I didn't know. That way I could have some plausible deniability, right? I wish I didn't know all the factors of what I was confused about before, because then I wouldn't be looking back in hindsight and saying, dang, the burden is now on me to make an informed decision. I think it's coming to a point, Scorpio, with this team dynamic that you're involved in, whether that be a partnership, a deal, a contract, or just your fellow coworkers, whatever is happening, part of you knows that somebody else might be getting the axe, or maybe getting fired, or maybe getting, kicked out of the decision-making process. That was made very evident and clear, but also having to sit with, if I did things differently, maybe we had a different outcome, right? Thing is, we cannot we cannot, even as we look towards the future, right? We cannot retroactively make decisions for other people. I know we're taking on a lot of responsibility. We're trying to find out what beyond what we know, what we found out in the past, right? The things that were left unclear, and now it was made abundantly clear in our present. We're making an informed choice. But moving towards the future, we start to regret that choice. And I don't like that for you, because with more information should come more confidence. But here, it gives you no rest at all, right? Here, now we're retroactively hating a decision that we made, whereas the information that we have of the here and now, it should be able to inform us of how we truly feel based off of what we've learned, right? Not just what's convenient for us, but what do we feel right with. So I guess not everybody want to be free, but hey, we can always look back and examine, how did we get here? Because that choice is made very abundantly clear with the Emperor. Okay? So, cards of connection, reveal connective energies, please. The bridge gap between the time-based orientations and Scorpio's career read today. First, what's going on between the past and present orientations, the what was and the what is? Ooh. Well, they didn't hit the table, so I can't take. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. What's happening in between? Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so there was some work to find out exactly what we needed to make the decision. Ten of Pentacles. Oh, the foundations of the rest of our lives, laying those roots, planting those seeds, and the King of Swords. What was the right thing to do? How do we optimize this situation? You feel like you stabbed somebody in the back. Okay. I'll hold off until we're going to get to that point, probably at this junction right here. But you learned everything that it needed to take in order to get what you originally wanted, Scorpio. And that's how we came to the present of, no, now you are fully informed of what it takes. Are you willing to take that step? You did the right thing, at least from the labor standpoint, of saying, no, I got my ducks in a row. This is how it happens. This is what we're working with. And I can understand that. Now I'm very interested why we have sorrow in our future rather than the notion of completion. Because although you got what you wanted, it leaves you no better fulfilled, let alone happy, right? We went from such heavy work-based investment to, we got what we wanted, but not without some pain along the way. So now we look at the space between the present and future orientation. Show Scorpio what is held between the what is and the what if. What cards do we need to see, please, for Scorpio in their career read? Devil, the card of Capricorn. Why are we regretting a decision? High Priestess, we knew internally this was coming. The Sun, what does happiness actually mean for you? Yeah, you feel like by taking this offer, you stab somebody in the back. Underneath it all, Nine of Pentacles, separation, but and autonomy, finding the self and being able to decide what decisions we have. However, it's interesting that the Nine of Pentacles is coming out of the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles are inherently a collaborative dynamic. The Nine of Pentacles is a journey solo. Yeah, in order to get where you had to be, here are the breaks. It was either you or somebody that was very valuable to you in a team dynamic. In order to make it work, you feel like you had to stab somebody in the back, or that there could only be one, right? And I don't think it was intentionally harmful, at least from what I'm seeing, because again, how do we define our happiness here? Was it all worth it? If you don't make a choice, then a choice will be made for you. That's the first thing that I will always say when it comes to all 78 of these cards. But more than that, We knew the moment that we accepted this offer, we accepted this deal, it meant that something was locked out for somebody else, right? Either it was going to be either them or going to be me. And now in the future, and this is why you're looking back with such regret and disdain, is that, yeah, we got what we quote unquote wanted and we're aiming for, but the way that it happened just felt like you stepped all over somebody else. My question for you then becomes, Scorpio, how are we defining our sun here, right? Because internally, we knew how we felt, right? Whatever choice this was, it was not an easy one. We have the high priestess saying, oh crap, we really can't avoid this, can we? And the devil, well, maybe sometimes it is this way. Can you live with that if we chose this path? And then the sun comes out. You said you wanted this, right? You said you wanted happiness. And this is how we're defining it thus far. But if you don't go for it, yeah, we don't quote unquote betray the team or betray this person, and they get whatever we were once aiming for. Can we do this in an optimal situation where no party gets hurt or screwed over? And that's a good question that I would want you to entertain for yourself, because again, thus far, all I've been seeing is, all I've been seeing is that the closer we got, the more and more we start to resent the decision. What you will do with that, that's your choice, Scorpio. But this is a situation where not everybody can win. And so the question becomes, what does it mean to be fulfilled for you? Is it the mitigation of harm while you're trying to catch this dream, focus on this goal, and hopefully not hurt everybody else in the process, because you don't see another way that this can be accomplished, because again, there can only be one? Or will you abandon this dream and let somebody else have it and feel right internally, even if some of your own aspirations got stepped on, right? Now, I'm not trying to say, I'm not trying to be a step-by-step guide on how to screw somebody over. This is not what the purpose of this read is. It is rather what feels best for you. I want you to make a decision that you can live with, right? Because now that you have all the facts laid out on the table, I don't want you to look retroactively and regret. If you're going to go with the option of, hey, I'm backing out of this, you can have it, I want you to be confident in yourself of why you're doing that. If you're going to say, no, I'm going for it, and therefore person X, this is no longer an option for you, I know when I sign this deal, this is how it will play out, then I need you to be confident in that as well. Kind of a lose-lose situation, to be honest. And as we move towards resolution, show us cards with me and see, please. Define the major arcana across the read for Scorpio, starting with the moon. What was unknown to us back then? Give me 1 second. Air feels really good. However, tarot card readers are people too. I forgot to turn it off. It is very hot. 1 second, please. Sure, I turned it off. Let us start with the moon. Two of Swords, yeah. There are some things I wish I could find out about this. However, you did. You most certainly did. There are some aspects of this that didn't seem entirely clear to you. You had a hunch about what that could be. And then when you found it out, it was like, oh, dang. Okay. Next, let's look at the Magician. 9 of Wands. What does effort get you? This is very much attainable for you, but it feels like there are strings attached, okay, to the Hermit. 7 of Cups. Possibility to believe that all things can be attained or on the table. So yeah, you got all the answers that you needed. Now it's about making that decision. To the Emperor. 9 of Swords. Anxiety, nightmares, fears, and regrets. Here, again, retroactively looking back, I want you to make the decision that feels the most right for you, Scorpio. I really do. Because right now, you feel bad either way. To the Hangman, where we get holding a suspension. Star. Oh, the card of Aquarius. the belief that things can, in fact, work out, that this dream was all worth it. Okay? Next to the devil, Three of Wands. Interesting that at this junction point in between, the future where we look back and the present where we try to push forward, devil comes up with the Three of Wands, saying, I'm going to hate whatever decision comes out here. This is a tough read for you, but I need you to define what you're most comfortable with. And more importantly, you have to understand your why. Show me that High Priestess. Show me the why. Four of Wands. Here in a business or career read, I don't necessarily see that as a relationship, an intimate partner bond relationship. I see that more as, no, this is what I need for my field. This is what I want in my path. This is what it means for me to call this place home. What does it mean when I establish those boundaries and try to elevate from there? And to the Sun, Eight of Pentacles, mastery, experience in your craft. Yeah, only one person can get this opportunity. And this is probably why it's weighing on you. This is what's supposed to be right? So why am I not feeling that way? And in a crossing pattern, the Tower, something comes crashing in what way? The Six of Pentacles, your everyday investment. It's not that it all falls apart, is that all the other distractions that is keeping you from making this choice, or we've delayed this meeting another week, those get pushed out of the way. You gotta make a decision. Gotta make a decision here. In resolution, strength, internal solidarity and fortitude. Here, being able to make a choice and harness what you need to confidently to get there. And the Ace of Wands, being empowered and emboldened to make a decision. Underneath it all, Six of Swords, we move forward. It was eventually going to get to this point. We either do or we don't. What do I see in your read today, Scorpio? I am looking at somebody who tried to elevate in a career path. They learned all the aspects necessary, and the final decision making was whatever they do, they're having to make a decision that they didn't want to have the repercussions of, right? It doesn't make you childish or naive. It means that you actually know everything that goes into this decision. The first, you take the job, you take the offer, and it becomes locked out to another person who you saw mutually developing. You wanted the best for them. It feels like you're double crossing them, right? That's the first. The second, you don't take it. You shunt all your dreams and aspirations. This person gets it instead. And now you fear growing resentful towards them for providing that opportunity for them to take something that both of you were equally confident in having. The problem that I have is that you're only seeing the loss in both options, right? It's become very clear that only one person can get this. However, in order to move forward, a decision must be made. I just want you to make the one that you're going to be comfortable living with. Because at no point did we really say exactly what we're most comfortable with. We're just saying, no, I know every aspect of what goes into it now. And it's not fun. It's not fun. But yeah, that's why I got in your read today, Scorpio. I hope this conversation helps. And does it make it any clearer what the choice is for you? No. But laying out point by point, this is what I feel, this is what I hope to get out of this. And honestly, if it really bothers you that much, I would suggest having a talk with that person, right? Talk with whoever's offering this position, talk with whoever you're in competition with. That way, and be totally honest, that way we can live with the decision that we make, because it's going to be hard either way. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.